Hey, I gotta tell you something. It's not necessarily a feel good message, but I have to tell you. Let me tell you about the counterfeit. The counterfeit comes intertwined with something that looks good, smells good, and feels good, but is not necessarily good. With a counterfeit, you always have a sense that you're settling. I tell women that I mentor that promises come with confirmation, clarity, and peace. But counterfeits come with major confusion. God may have shown you glimpses of the real thing. And so you're saying, in a situation, I don't know if this is a counterfeit or from God. Somebody needs to help me figure it out. God gives us confirmation. He also brings people into our life to help us see beyond. But we have to be willing to listen. You may be saying to me, Jaquisha, listen, I know you're talking to me. I've experienced counterfeit after counterfeit after counterfeit. There is no such thing as the real thing. But I want to slap you with some wisdom on today. You have to have a real thing in order to have a counterfeit. Because the counterfeit mimics the real thing. Most times the real thing is right around the corner. But what the enemy will do is trip us up by delaying us from the real thing with the counterfeit. But not only that, sometimes we could be our own trip up. We could be our own delay. Why? Because of our own fleshly desires. We know that we're with a counterfeit. We know that we've stepped into a counterfeit situation. But we just don't want to leave because it feels so good. It is so good. But I want to tell you on today that you can be set free and you can experience the real thing, something that won't cause you pain at the end. Counterfeits don't last very long because the masks falls off. But let me tell you something. I may throw somebody for a loop, but don't worry, I'm coming back with part 2. But what we call a counterfeit sometimes is actually from God. Like, share, comment. Tell me how you're feeling. And stay tuned for part 2.